Hello. Welcome back to the Leeds lobby. We're using a little bit of new software, so you're going to have to bear with us if we go a little bit patchy because we're working on it a little bit. It's good to have you here. Not seem to have anybody in at the minute.
No, but they'll come.
Guests.
That's just me. I'm the moderator. We've got 13
people in. How are you doing, guys?
How you doing, guys?
Ray Sam, good to see you back in the room again. Henro. No one is late. Because we originally had it for 6 o'clock. We've had to reschedule it to 6:30 and make it slightly later. Household chores.
Hi, Russ. Hi, Nathan.
Good to see you, Russ. Nathan's in the house. And so we just want to talk a little bit about some of the transfer news that's floating around. Some of the signings that we were linked with a little bit earlier on in the season seem to be going to other clubs. Is it Cody Gakpo seems to be going
to Scum, which is not good.
It's not good. Do you think he's going to improve them where they need to be improved?
He won't be starting. He'll be on the bench, won't he?
Yeah.
Let's be realistic. Ismail Sarr, Ray Sam's put, which would be scored a goal from past the halfway line against West Brom the other day. He's just a phenomenal player, but I don't think it's going to happen. Juan Mata seems to be completely off, as said by Fabrizio. And Callum Wendo's not happening either. Good evening, Michael. Good evening, Dave. Hello, Paul. And hello, Henro.
Yeah, so Juan Mata seems to be completely and totally off.
Yeah, looks like it was never on.
Unsure at this time whether Leeds are actually going to make any more transfers, but there seems to be a little bit of news. Who seems to be in the chat at the minute in terms of
a lot of the talk at the minute is around Shay Adams and Danny Ings, which are two decent strikers. I would rather add Charles de Ketelaere, but obviously he did miss a pen, Ray Sam, but then I think the goal makes up for it. But I think Danny Ings would be a really good player. There's people in Facebook groups saying that they know people inside the club saying it's going to be Danny Ings on a season loan with an option to buy for 16 million. Don't know how reliable that is, but we'll see.
Who would we rather have as a striker right about now?
Shay Adams, for me. I think that we don't need someone who can start over Bamford. Bamford showed on at the weekend that he can start he's more than capable of starting. I think Shay Adams is probably a good bet. He can cover for Bamford if he's injured. He can provide competition for Joffrey. And just Joe was saying earlier on, he made a really good point, that people are going crazy for Broja and Ollie Watkins. But Shay Adams has better stats than both of those. So, I would be happy with Shay Adams.
Yeah, I think it's difficult to know because, again, listening to Rads and Kinnear talking about signing a striker, and it's really difficult because the Leeds fan base is quite obviously, for the back end of last season, shouting for Joffrey to start games. Now we've got him in a situation where he potentially could come on and do us a job. We've got a little bit of a selection problem as it is, on account of the fact that we've got Rodrigo seeming to hit some form. Michael Brown, not sure Leeds can rely on Bamford fully fit this season, given his injury record.
Shay Adams will be brilliant for that. He can just come in when Bamford's injured, and then he would fit into the side like a glove, having played in the 4-2-2-2 with Ralph Hasenhüttl. Obviously, Ralph Hasenhüttl, another manager that was churned out of the Red Bull network. Shay Adams then playing under him. I think it should be at this moment in time. Now Callum Wendo's off. Terrier looks like it's not happening. I would have him pretty high up on the list.
Again, Russ has put, I personally love, not live, an additional striker, but quality of left back has to be priority given our recent acquisition of a goalkeeper. Again, that's a good point. I do think left back is going to be interesting. Here's the thing. We can't really judge it after one game. And the real danger, of course, is now that the board look at this game, see how he's performed. We are undoubtedly going to create chances. I think this is, now we've actually hit the ground running, we're actually getting to see what a Marsh system actually looks like on the ground when we're playing a side such as Wolves. And you know what? Wolves are a good team for us to be...
Arguably.
No, what I mean is they're a good team to be judging ourselves against, in the sense that
in mid-table,
if we are hoping to be finishing the top half, we need to be beating teams like Wolves, particularly at home.
I think 12th is the more realistic, but...
That's not the point. If we'd have been playing Man City and we'd have lost that game, what would it have told us? If we'd have won that game, what would it have told us? If we'd been playing a Forest or a Fulham, what does winning that game tell us? And for me, playing a team like a West Ham or a Wolves is class for us, because if we go on and win that game and it's a home game, what it does, it tells us a little bit about the opposition we can give competition to. I did have a look at some of the stats a little bit earlier on today. People talked about us being missing for sort of 20 minutes in that game, and again, that's interesting. I think looking at the actual stats, it looks to me like Wolves had 4 shots on goal that produced either a block or a save during that period, and we were able to defend that. So people talk about our defence, and this is a thing, right? This is a thing. We've got a defence to defend. That's what we have. Surely, if we're in a situation where there's a long period of play where we're pinned back and we manage to stop the opposition from scoring, that says something about the resilience of our defence in comparison to where it was last year. Now, that being said, we did look a little bit exposed at right back. We looked a little bit exposed at left back. But that's telling us now that we're starting the season with a little bit more resilience, and we're able to weather that storm in the way that we did. Wolves didn't look too likely to score. Amelie had a great game. What is interesting is when you go back and look at the 2 goals we did score, they were from pressing positions. Once where Aronson won the ball, once where Adams won the ball. These are 2 of the players that know the Jesse Marsh system. And what we were doing is we were winning the ball in positions where we wouldn't normally win the ball, and then we were directly towards goal. And what I like about that system is it works. It's the first time we've seen it against a full strength Premiership side, and it worked. We were able to hold on to that game, take back hold of that game, and go on and win it. What do you think, Dan?
I think Shawnee B with a pretty strange comment saying that they wouldn't sell us players if it's going to strengthen our team. Quite a obviously Southampton sold Ings to Villa. Southampton sell their players to Premier League clubs quite a lot. Same with Aston Villa. I think it's quite obviously Norwich sold Villa Emi Buendia. That's quite a strange comment, because you see if the price is right, then they're going to be fine to sell him. Really, Shea Adams isn't going to come in and be a starter. But you look up Danny Ings made a glass in 30. Yeah, it would only cost probably 15 million. So he's also 29, I think. So, but I think that if we do offer good enough money, then they will sell to us.
And the question, of course, is if Bamford does stay fit, are we going to be looking to bring a striker in who's going to replace him? And if he doesn't stay fit, we're going to be looking at somebody who comes in and replaces Joffrey. Because, again, do we really want to arrest the development of Gelhardt at this moment in time, or do we want to see him really break through this season? I'm not sure. What do you guys think? There are some interesting potential signings. Don't get me wrong, I actually fully expect that this transfer window is now going to sort of breeze towards the end. There's going to be a couple of whisperings here and there. I don't think we're going to bring anybody else in. What do you think?
Trying to figure out how I coordinate my finger to do that.
Remind everyone to drop a like. Yes, remind everyone to drop a like. Yeah, if you're not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell. And also drop a like on the video. I can't actually see how many likes we've got on the video as yet.
I can't. I will check in a minute. Old looking 29-year-old. Yeah, but I'm sat. It's better than being a young looking 60-year-old. So you know.
60. What are you on about? Interesting question. Man U have signed
Gakpo. They've not signed
Eriksen.
him. Oh, Eriksen, yes.
And how old is he?
Eriksen is 30. I think he's 31.
Would we have took Eriksen?
We would have taken Eriksen in a heartbeat.
So in regards to that, it doesn't fit the mould for us to take a 30-year-old.
3 likes. Granted, 3 likes. That is appalling.
Well,
that is a shame.
Yeah, we need to be looking a bit more on the likes. So if you can smash a like on the video, that's great. If you're enjoying the content, yeah, I think age is important, but I don't think it is the most important thing to factor. I think if we're looking for a player who can do us a little bit of a job, almost like the goalkeeper, somebody who can potentially come in if we need a job to be done, who's an experienced head, then what we've got to say is we would probably take a 29 or 30-year-old journeyman almost, just to give us that little bit of depth in that area. But again, I have to say this, guys. I do think Aronson, I do think our American signings are going to really produce this season. And I do think we're going to be a little bit of a surprise for some teams. what concerns me is the speed with which teams are going to in and around us are going to get. Are going to get a bit of an idea as to what we're all about. Pulisic wants out of Chelsea. Would Pulisic come to Leeds?
Pulisic would not come to Leeds. I think he's much more likely to go possibly to Spurs. I've seen this morning. There's a record number of Americans in the Premier League this season. We've obviously got Anthony Robinson from Fulham, Alex Mighton for Forest qualifies as American born in the USA, a la Bruce Springsteen. You've got Pulisic. You've got that Chris Richards that Palace has signed. So there's quite a few Americans knocking about. But Pulisic, I don't think that he's the one. Mike Irish with the £2 super chat. Thank you so much. You are the first super chat, so thank you for that. Really appreciate it. But I don't think Pulisic is gonna. Maybe he's a good prospect for maybe a signing we could make in a few seasons if we kick on from this season. But at the minute, I don't think we even need him. I don't think that he would. It would definitely add quality on the wing, but I don't think that he would strengthen it. It would just knock Harrison out onto the bench, which isn't really something we want to do at the minute with all the rumours about him going to Newcastle.
Atkinson has put a really good comment on here. Most Premier League sides score, most Premier League strikers score between 7 and 12 goals a season. Similar to a good winger, goals are spread throughout the team. Certainly if you look at Liverpool and you look at Mane and Zaha, most of their...
He's a left winger. Zaha's a left winger.
No, I'm on about... it's Mo Salah.
Yeah.
We look at Liverpool's where their main goals are coming from. They're coming from the wings. This is what excites me about Aronson and seeing Aronson arrive in the box in the way that he did. For us to actually put the ball in the box, for Bamford to look up, see that ball, and put that ball basically on a plate for either defender to knock in or Aronson knock in. I think the other thing is, I think I heard somebody else talking this week about the way in which Leeds are now playing, coming in from the wings. We're going to score a lot of own goals. We're not going to score own goals. We're going to play an opposition who are going to score own goals.
If Tyler Roberts was playing, then it might have been.
Tyler Roberts
did score a screamer for QPR yesterday.
Scored a worldie. Imagine that. Tyler Roberts has gone and scored a worldie for QPR.
Just watch James Shackleton get a hat-trick for Millwall tonight. I think they're playing in the Carabao Cup.
I think Tyler Roberts is found his level.
Yeah, I don't think you wouldn't... In terms of the goal, he wouldn't get that much space in the Prem. But he wouldn't get that much space to shoot.
It's a really good point. Goals seem to be spread throughout the team, and you don't see many top flight sides employing two strikers, a big man and a little man, like they used to. It's more about mobility. It's more about buzzing around. People now talk about pressing in a way that they didn't perhaps 3 or 4 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's a new thing in the Premiership. We look at, I think it was Aronson's pressing actions statistic. He had more pressing actions and more successive pressers than anybody else in the Premier League in the weekend we've just had. And this is where I think he's going to be dynamic for Leeds United. Tyler Roberts is not Premier League quality yet. I think he's had enough Premier League experience to give to have opportunity to prove himself.
No, I don't. I think you let him go now. I don't. He's 20. He's 24 soon. I don't think that he's got. Shea Adams is only 1 year older than him. You may as well just get Shea Adams in.
Has Tyler Roberts got a picture of Bielsa naked that he's blackmailing him with or something? The amount of times this guy came on, and every Leeds fan, I don't know of fan that turned around and said, brilliant, Tyler Roberts is coming on. And
have you seen the Bielsa to QPR rumours?
Oh no. Yeah, we're following his friend. The days of old-fashioned number... hang on, Mike Atkinson. The days of an old-fashioned number 9 like Alan Shearer bringing in 30 goals a season are probably a thing of the past.
The Premier League's quality and difficulty is improving season by season. Look at the amount of managers that got sacked last season. Just absolutely...
Mark Atkinson, you wait till the end of the season and we'll see what number Haaland is on.
Yeah.
And then we'll ask that question again, because I can assure you the number 9 is well and truly alive in the Premiership this year. This guy is going to be a slab of meat monster.
Are you seeing
the ability of the guy?
Did you see someone tried to tackle him against Liverpool? They ended up actually going down injured because they tried to slide tackle him, and he's just that strong that they actually ended up injuring themselves because he just refuses to go down.
He's built like a brick outhouse.
He is. That's why I like him to Zlatan, because he's just like You've seen the video of Zlatan punching someone and then pretending to be injured.
Yeah, a good point about Haaland. I agree. So interesting to see.
He'll be at Leeds before he retires. So just letting you know.
If Leeds are buying a number 9, are they buying somebody? Are they buying somebody to replace Bamford? Are they replacing somebody to replace Joffrey or play alongside Bamford?
Trojan hair with the super
Trojan
chat.
hair with the super chat. Really appreciate that.
We do.
I'm a fairly new Leeds fan over in America. Just wanted to say I love your content. One of my favourite Leeds channels to listen to. Go on, Leeds.
Come on, Leeds.
So, Trojan hair, what is it that's actually brought you to supporting Leeds United? What is it that's... I mean, I know obviously we've got an American... we've got an American coach. We think, to be quite frankly, I don't think there's many Leeds fans are overly critical of him. I think he's come in. I think one of the things I saw this weekend, which was stunning, was the way in which he made that substitution on the 65th minute and brought players into the game that changed the dynamic of the game and caused us to get back on top. I think as a coach, that was brilliant decision making. You cannot fault the guy. Bringing a player on that led to the goal. And I think the players that we've brought in, that he's brought in, are going to have a disproportionate effect on that Leeds United side for the amount of money we spent. I'm over the moon with Jesse Marsch. I think most Leeds fans are over the moon. But Trojan Hair, what point did you start supporting Leeds United? What's that support going to look like on a week-to-week basis once the World Cup's actually gone past? That's a curious question. Put it in the comments if you'd like to do so.
Riley making quite a good point. Another returning one. Southampton had a friendly behind closed doors to prepare for Leeds. Pep last year said Marsch's team gave everything in their games, and if Pep says something, then you know it's probably something you want to listen to.
Trojan Hair watched a documentary a couple of years ago about Leeds returning to the Premiership, and he was drawn to the club. The Amazon documentary, which was definitely part of Daniel's education in the worlds of Leeds United. And
there's another one coming out about the academy, the Leeds Academy. It's out this month, so keep an eye out for that.
Those days were really, really bad days for Leeds United when we were in a situation where we had, at the time, what we called the Socceroos. We had some Australian players who were, I mean, Mark Viduka was probably one of the best strikers that's been at the club. If we had a Mark Viduka up top now instead of Bamford, and there's no disrespect to Bamford, Mark Viduka would be a 25 goal a season striker. He was phenomenal. And we had Harry Kewell, who's probably one of the best wingers we've ever had at the club. And to see these players getting sold off to clubs like Newcastle United, and sometimes a little bit on the cheap, we were just selling all of our players because of the debt we were in. And what had actually happened is, my understanding of it is, we got Peter Risdale, who'd financed us up to the hilt in regards to, you know, when we talk about the structure of deals, and we talk about futures, so that, for example, we're expecting 20 million from Barca, and then another 20, and then another 20, and that's the structure of the deal. We were in a situation where I think we'd leveraged quite a lot of loans against future income from the Champions League. And then we finished fourth, and only the top three actually went into the Champions League, and we crashed out in the semi-finals, and Leeds started to shake. But I hear stories. There was a player we brought from Derby who was a defensive midfielder. He weren't brilliant. He weren't that good a player, but he weren't brilliant.
That was in the Brian
Seth
Clough
Johnson,
days, wasn't it?
No, I don't think so. We brought Seth Johnson in, and this is what I've heard. I don't know if this is true, but this is what I've heard, that Seth Johnson went in wanting to earn somewhere in the region of about £12,500 a week. And he went into negotiation with Ridsdale, who turned around to Seth Johnson, his agent, and said, "I'm not going to pay you any more than 15 grand a week." To which the agent said, "Let's go outside and discuss it." And then he went back into that room, and Ridsdale says, "Right, okay, I'm going to give you 17 and a half." And this is the way in which the negotiation was taking place. Now, I don't know if that is true. That may just be anecdotal around the club. But certainly one thing is for sure, there was an element of financial mismanagement, which is ironic, bearing in mind what Peter Risdale's current job is. What's Peter Risdale's current job?
He's on the Championship Board of Financial Play Directors.
Financial Fair Play Directors, which is ironic, bearing in mind what he did to Leeds United. And I think he then went to Barnsley and did the same to Barnsley. And I think he did the same to Cardiff. So again, this is what happened at the time. He overbacked us, and it took us to a point where we
love that from you, Ross.
You know, we got we got sent down the leagues, and we're 16 years coming back. 16 years coming back, and this is a club that literally 2 seasons previous were in the semi-finals of the Champions League, and then we were in a situation where we were playing Division 1 football. But any Leeds fans that are in here that can remember those days.
Do you mean League One football?
What did I say?
Division 1.
I think it was Division. Yeah, League. It might have been League 1.
Again, you need to stop saying Premier League. You need to stop saying Division 1.
Any Leeds fans who are in here that can remember those days, it was. Yeah, hearing you talking about history is like my friends telling me horror stories of my ex-girlfriends. I know it was horrible, but you know what? You know when we went down to League One, and we were in a situation where we were still getting crowds of 30,000, and the fans got behind the club, and we were in a situation where we were drawing bigger figures than a lot of the Championship games, and in many cases we were drawing bigger figures than all the Championship games, and the fan base was still there. The fan base is staying with the club. Leeds United have got the best fans in the world because. Yeah. And we had our backs to the wall, and we fought. And I think that year we enter League One with something like a 15-point deduction.
It was 17-point deduction, I think.
I'm sure it was 15. But anyway, we made the playoffs that year.
Yeah.
So again,
back on track.
Back on track. For you to come and start supporting Leeds United and understand the history of this club. This club has got a rich heritage, and it goes back a generation before that, when we went down for 8 years. Which I just come in 2 or 3 seasons before we got promoted at that time, but Leeds is a great club, and we are now going through a time of growth. I think within the next couple of years, what Radrizzani's aim is for us to be challenging for Europe. I certainly think that the situation at the weekend showed real promise in regards to how we played that side. I'm looking forward. The EFL wanted Leeds to stay in it because it kept other clubs alive. Yeah, didn't it just? And yeah, you're right, Ray. And you know what? The refereeing decisions towards the last couple of seasons when we were looking like coming up was we got 10-point deduction the year before too. Where we were at coming up, you could see some of the refereeing decisions were dodgy as anything. Absolutely dodgy as anything.
Anyway, about strikers, because I
got into it.
It gets enthusiastic.
A little bit carried away.
Just put in the comments put in the live chat what striker you would take. If obviously you've got a few links, you've got Terrier, Callum Wendo's off, but then you've got Shay Adams, Broya is in the mixer still, I believe. You've got quite a few. Leeds are really in for Shay Adams. I think I envisage a situation like last season on deadline day where we panicked on deadline day. And we panic bought Dan James because we needed Premier League experience. I envisage a very similar situation where on deadline day we haven't got a striker and we panic buy Shay Adams. Ismail Sarr, Cody Gakpo's gone Man U. I'm not going to say his name, but is Jose? Is that the Colombian lad? I think it is. Cali is off. Cali is gone.
Callum Wendo looks like he's gone somewhere else.
Yeah, he's gone to Red.
But I think Callum Wendo would have been direct competition for
Joffrey.
For Joffrey. I'm not sure that right now we really wanted that right now.
Do you think that? No. Radrizzani did an interview and said that Harrison's not going anywhere. So that's very good.
21-point deduction, Wilf Grant says.
Yeah, I was close, just like I'm going to do with league positions.
I was a student at that time. I probably spent more time drunk and playing football.
Gakpo hasn't gone Man U yet. Not over till it's over. We will see.
Gakpo, well, yeah, I'm not even sure we're even still in for Cody Gakpo.
I've not even ever been in.
I think the likelihood we'll get a striker on a season-long loan with an option to loan to buy.
For me, Emmanuel Dennis from Watford. I think they're looking at 30 to 35 million for him, which for someone who's not even going to start, I don't think that he's the right option. Broya for a year, yeah. I would argue that Shay Adams, as Joe said on his stream, Shay Adams is a much better option. Terrier is another, probably one of the more likely options.
Ollie Woos, he'll get offers from Liverpool because Klopp wants him. Who's that? Are we talking about? Just clarify that. £40 million for Gakpo is a bit much.
Yeah, but we're all prepared to pay up nearly 50 million for Charles De Ketelaere. So
yeah,
okay. Joao Pedro. Now that would be I presume I presume you're not talking about. I think it's Cagliari's João Pedro, or is it Fiorentina? There's a João Pedro playing in the Italian league, but I imagine you're on about Watford's João Pedro, the 21-year-old. He's going to be a baller.
I can't see how many likes we've got on the video, but if you're in the chat and you're interacting, please hit that like button. And again, if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe.
I've not seen much about that LeBron bloke. I'm not going to lie. I've not actually seen a lot about him. If you could put in the comments like just some information about him for us.
Christoph Junction, Chris Thorpe Junction. Are you talking about Just Joe?
Yeah.
He seems to think that nobody else is coming in. You know what? The thing is, if we'd have lost that Wolves game, then it would have been glaringly obvious that Stroud weren't good down that left side, and we hadn't got Firpo coming in. I am under no doubt that we would have gone in for a left back. Bearing in mind, Stroud offered us so much, particularly up front from set pieces, and Firpo is coming back. 65 likes, thank you. Make sure you hit the like button if you've not already done so. Bearing that in mind, I'm not 100% sure that the board is going to invest in left back. Bearing in mind, we looked so potent up front and we had so many shots on goal. I'm not sure we're going to go in for a striker. Does that mean we shouldn't? No, I think we should. But also, one thing that's really important is Jesse Marsh. Amazing thing, he demonstrated the ability with what he had on the bench to change that game. And we have Dan James coming back.
I think
we have Sinisterra coming back. We've got Firpo coming back. We've got Dallas later on in the season coming back. We've got Luke Ayling coming back. We have got quite a number of these players that are on the fringe of the first team and certainly could do us a job coming back. We've got Jarby and we've got Gray.
Yeah.
And we've got Greenwood. So we have got players that are coming on that are on the fringes.
I think I've embarrassed myself a bit there. Pulisic is LeBron. I didn't realise that. Antonio from West Ham with Scamacca coming in. I think that I've said in the predictions videos, West Ham need to probably looking likely they're going to sign upwards of 9 players this window because of their last day. They ended up in the Conference League beneath one place beneath Man U. So I think that Antonio won't happen. Scamacca's more likely to be playing in the Conference League matches because the Conference League matches are so tightly packed with the Premier League fixtures. You need to have 2 11s, and I think that's why they bought Scamacca in.
Riley's basically said, I think the back line is okay with the new system. Just needs a strong backup to Bamford. This is what I've been saying in one or two of the tactical videos that we've done in terms of what that double pivot means. So we are going to find that the ball is played over the top, down the left and the right channel. Yeah. We're going to find that.
Yeah.
And we're going to find that when that ball is played down our right channel, down the opposition's left-hand channel, Rasmus Christensen is not going to be there. And we're also going to find that the ball's lofted up over whoever is our left back into the right-hand channel, and our right back isn't going to be there. This is where the central defensive midfielders of Tyler Adams or Roca move back into that central defensive area and allow either, if it is Stroud playing left back, it allows Llorente to come over. If it's the other side, it allows Koch to move over, and it allows for whichever. If we've got a situation where Rasmus is quite advanced, Strauch is going to be a little bit further back, and they're all going to move over, etc., etc. There's a dynamic aspect to how we are defending because it's evident that Jesse Marsh sees the right wing back, left wing back as just another attacking player.
Yeah.
Their ability to attack is clearly more important to him than their ability to defend. And what he expects his centre halves to be is mobile.
If Bamford got hurt, Marsh could play a 4-3-3 and make Aronson a false 9. I think that is that's not a bad shout. If we do have a player false 9, there's other players that I would rather have in there, possibly Harrison. So let's like it. I already put that one on.
Jack Turner.
Bamford plays well under this system. Marsh clearly values him. I wanted Joffrey to start. Bamford is so mobile for a 9. For our winner, he has 2 steps ahead. Yeah, that's possible. That's a good shout.
I understand, Jack, what you would say about Joffrey being the person to start over Bamford, but I'm going to be completely honest with you, and this might be controversial. Bamford, in terms of his work ethic, in terms of his press, in terms of his effort, the way he lifted his eyes up and saw that ball to Aronson, for me, if I'm completely and totally honest with you, I would be starting Bamford in front of Joffrey right about now. Now, Joffrey offers us something a little bit different. He does offer us something different. He offers us something at this moment in time off the bench. And he thinks a little bit outside the box. He is more of a player that's going to come deep and play as almost as a number 10. Yeah. He's more of a replacement for Rodrigo. Rodrigo and Bamford is a good pairing. But again, Rodrigo, he benefits from playing a little bit deep on the edge of the box.
I think the false 9 shout's it's a good shout, but I don't think you could really put a false 9 in there with a narrow system. You look at players like Mo Salah and Sadio Mane last season, obviously he's gone to Bayern now, but you look at players like that, Liverpool play with a false 9. So did Man City last season, but they have good players in the width. Now, we do have good players. We have Aronson and Harrison. But you to play with a false 9, you need to have quite a bit of width. And I don't think Marsh is that kind of manager.
Wilf Grant, that's an interesting point. I understand what you're saying about the pivot, but the cover was not there against Wolves. I was at the game and it was easy to get behind our wing backs. I completely agree. I'm not entirely sure that Jesse Marsh is over concerned by that. I know that that's a little bit interesting to say that. That may change, but I think if we've got wing backs that are going forward in the way that they're going forward, and we're not operating 3 at the back, we're using a double pivot to provide cover in the middle, we are going to find that teams are going to be playing the ball over and to our wing backs, and then it's how compact we are in the middle at defending at that point. I think that is a potential area of weakness, but what it does do is it gives us another strength in that it gives us 2 more attacking players. So I think it's almost like Kevin Keegan-esque when he was at Newcastle or Man City. We're just going to outscore the other team. We're going to produce more opportunities. Again, I think is it the expected goals, XG? Yeah. We were in a situation where our XG was nearly 3 times what Wolves was. And that's one of the reasons why, when you look at the stats, we actually really deserve to win that game. When we're winning the ball back in an advanced position like Aronson, the other team can recycle the ball because we're going to press you. We're going to win the ball. We're going to take you by surprise, and then we're going to score.
The Luis Sinisterra update, I think you're better off I can't really say. I think he's probably likely to feature as a substitute on the bench, off of the bench for Southampton, but I think that you're better off just waiting for Marsh's pre-match talk for news on Sinisterra.
Again, I completely agree with you. Complete striker, tired of defending him. You've got strikers that are getting the perfect hat trick, left foot, right foot, and header in a game, like we have done in the last couple of seasons. You've got somebody with natural ability. I completely and totally agree with you. I think Bamford's main issue is he does need a lot of opportunities to score when he's not in form. He's a confidence player. There's no doubt about that. But when he's on form and his stock is high, this guy will get you goal after goal after goal after goal. And what he offers us in terms of holding the ball up is absolutely outstanding. I do agree. Jed Halfin says, how many defensive headers did Bamford make from crosses in the box? A good few.
He's good in the air.
He's good at set pieces.
He's good in the air as well.
Yeah, he's good defensively. He offers us something defensively that we don't get from Joffrey. It's just it just does. Our Riley says, when Leeds played Man City and Spurs, Leeds will have to play wide again to gain advantage in final third. Pep has this year been playing with a back 2. Quite possible. I'm not sure.
Most of them are. That is a great shout.
I think there's a lot of teams are going to watch that game against West Ham who are going to be absolutely scared witless.
Yeah. The Christmas break will benefit Leeds, and I'll explain why. We've recently lost Calvin Phillips and Rafinha, 2 of our best players, both internationals, who were playing against top teams in the world in the last Euros. And that quite really affected us because Phillips obviously got injured. Rafinha wasn't the same when he came back. Obviously, after that Villa game, he wasn't the same. He had his head over his shoulder looking at his Brazil career. But that's going to really help this season because we don't have that many first-team internationals in our team. Whereas you look at teams like Man City, we played them straight after the Christmas break. They're going to have Foden's going to be knackered from the World Cup. They're going to have Pulisic is going to be knackered from the World Cup. You're going to have Edison and Alisson can rotate, but Edison, possibly Ruben Diaz, all of these players are going to be tired, but Leeds won't be, so that's going to benefit us definitely.
I just want to chat to Jack Turner. One thing I haven't heard a lot is how much harder it is to break down our defence when the opposition have possession. We look comfortable and super organised on the counter. That's another story. I completely agree. And I've heard comments about how sometimes, I mean, in fact, Brendan Harrison got the ball. He didn't know what to do with it because he didn't got an option, and he just played it into the opposition's box on occasions and just ran after it. And again, he's not bothered if the opposition have the ball, as long as they've got in a position where he can win it back and do something with it. And again, it's a different style of play. It's what Jesse Marsh just talks about, playing against the ball. And you know what? We saw it in action against Wolves, and it was super, super, super exciting.
Haaland won't be knackered though. No, he won't. And Shay Adams wouldn't be if we signed him, because didn't make it into the World Cup. That's another reason to sign Shay Adams. Aronson and Adams would be. But then again, that's probably two of the ones that will be. But look at every Llorente is not going to start for Spain. They're going to have a back line of Laporte and I think Ruben Diaz is Spanish. They're either going to have Laporte. They might have Marcos Llorente because he's quite a versatile player and he can fill in at centre back. But Diego Llorente is not going to be starting there. You've got Firpo. I can't see him getting into the Spain squad. Roca.
Senior Firpo.
Senior
Firpo. No, I'm just saying Senior Firpo.
Right, yeah.
Every time people talk about Firpo, I think about JT Live talking about the Senior Firpo, talking about he's the best left back in the planet, and I think, Roberto Carlos. I think, assuming that we're happy with the ball being floated over the top, and we're happy with the way that Leeds are defending and not using wing backs to defend, we've got to have a look now and assess how good Firpo is going forward, because that's really what Jesse Marsh is looking for from him. That's why he's putting so much stock in him.
Okay.
Why threaten our rhythm?
Yeah, why threaten our rhythm to sign matter beyond me. I think that about finishes it, doesn't it?
Yeah, so again, we talked about this midweek. We talked about perhaps doing a look at the fixtures coming up. Do you want to grab the fixtures on your phone and we'll just do a bit of a preview on what
Marcus
we think?
Llorente won't be a centre back. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying he is an option there. He can play centre mid, CDM, centre back. He's played up front and a centre back, which is.
And we are going to do a video. Which is going to be previewing the Southampton game. We're going to do that in the next couple of days. And we're going to talk about what we expect to see in that game in terms of formation, selection, and how we think Leeds will line up and how we think they'll perform.
Yeah.
But before we do that, what we're going to do is we're very quickly going to go through the fixtures for the weekend to have a look at what we think is going to happen.
So our next 4 fixtures...
No, the fixtures for this weekend coming.
For this weekend coming. Oh, yeah.
The overall fixtures.
Okay, so we're going to make the predictions.
Let's have a look at the Premier League fixtures.
Right, so this next round, we have Aston Villa versus Everton.
Aston Villa versus Everton.
That's
a game that...
Frank Lampard versus Steven Gerrard, isn't it?
Frank Lampard versus Steven Gerrard. I'm not sure who I want to lose the most right now.
Yeah, Steven Gerrard. He's gone down for me. He's gone down.
I want to see Fat Frank go down.
Christensen from Chelsea. Christensen's gone. He's gone to Barcelona, mate. I don't know how they've managed to afford that many players. It's just a massive...
So who's going to win Aston Villa, Everton? What's your prediction?
My prediction is a Aston Villa 2-1.
I'm predicting 0-0.
I do think next week we are going to start having people on to predict the games with us. So we do have Twitter. So go on the Twitter and basically send us a message on Twitter if you'd be interested in that, because we are going to start having people on the stream with us to discuss predictions.
So my prediction for so let's just get this in stone. Your first prediction for Everton Villa. What's Villa?
2-1 Villa. And I think that it's going to be Leon Bailey and Ollie Watkins for Aston Villa, and then I think it's probably going to be Calvert-Lewin from Everton, possibly a penalty. Just log that down.
Ray Sam is wanting to discuss Barcelona, Rafinha unregistered, and I'm going to be straight with you. He ain't going to come back. That's not going to happen. Barcelona have bought him. Whether they can register him or not is not an issue as far as Leeds are concerned. And he ain't going to come back to Leeds. What will happen, if anything, is either Barcelona will actually register him in January, or alternatively, what will happen is he will sit and he will not be able to play for Barcelona. He'll end up going to another club and they'll end up selling him on. Or alternatively, Barcelona will go into liquidation, which is unlikely. Yeah. And what will happen is the players will get auctioned off by liquidators, and he'll end up somewhere like Chelsea anyway. And Barcelona will come back to Leeds.
Barcelona are in a massive pickle because I think the liquidators are coming in. If they do, then they can't sell any of the players because the players don't want to. None of the players want to leave. You see, Depay's leaving, but Braithwaite won't leave. De Jong won't leave until they've been paid what they're owed. and that's Titi won't leave until they're paid what they're owed, and that's respectable. But they can't get the money. They can't get any money until they sell these players. So they're in a massive pickle. Arsenal Leicester.
Nearly 200 people in the live chat, which is absolutely amazing.
That is
that's
good.
Absolutely mental. Remember to smash a like and hit the subscribe button.
Yeah.
So yes, 0-0 Villa for Everton. Neither of them are going to have much up front, and I think Fat Frank is going to survive another day. I think Steven Gerrard may also be somebody who moves on this season as well.
Yeah. Arsenal Leicester.
I
think Arsenal 3-1.
Yeah, I will go with Arsenal 3-1. I think that's sensible. I think Arsenal are going to be good this season.
Let's go through them. Okay. Brighton Newcastle.
Brighton obviously won at the weekend. And
I think
Newcastle also won at the weekend.
2-1.
It's an away team. I think
Newcastle 3-1.
I think 2-2.
3-1 Newcastle. If you think Brighton are going to get a point out of that, then it's quite a strange opinion, but you know.
Man City Bournemouth.
That is going to be a pasting. I think Haaland could possibly get his first hat trick. I think that's probably going to be a 5-0.
I think that's got 4-0 written all over it.
4 or 5-0. That's going to be a cricket score. Southampton Leeds.
2-0 to Leeds.
Yeah, I agree. I think Southampton just don't have that calibre.
We're going to start the season with 6 points, lads. 6 points, guys. Can you imagine being 2 games in, 6 points, bearing in mind how long it took us to get our first 3 last year? We were into October, and this time we're going to hit the ground running, and we're going to be looking like we're top. We're going to be second or third place. Come on, marching on together.
Yeah. Wolves Fulham.
I think Fulham will do it.
Fulham are going to win that. I think Fulham 1-0. I think Fulham will scrape it.
Yeah, you know what?
I think it'll be that Andreas Pereira. He looks like a baller.
Yeah, and I think it'd be really funny if Fulham again get the 6 points out of the first 2 games, and people start thinking, "What is going on with this Premier League this year?"
Then have Brentford Man U. That's a big one. I think that's got 2-2. I think that Man U could probably win that. I think 3-1 Man U.
I think Scum will win that.
As much as it pains me to say.
Scum will win that 3-0. Scum will win that 3-0.
We then have Forest West Ham on the Sunday.
I'd like to see Forest get their first. I think Forest will get their first win of the season against West Ham. They're playing at home. Obviously, they didn't perform so well last week, and Newcastle took them out. I think West Ham. I mean, David Moyes says there's no point in even turning up to Man City. You know, their season starts now. But I'd love to see. Well, I think Forest will give them a game. I don't think West Ham will be as good this season as they were last season. I don't think they've invested enough.
I think there's going to be a 2-1 win for West Ham. I think Antonio's playing against his former club. I think Bowen's still on form. Probably he'll find his form again. I think that's going to be that's got 2-1 West Ham written on it. Chelsea Tottenham. Now there's a game.
Oof.
I think that's going to be a Tottenham win. I think it's going to be a 3-1 Tottenham win, personally.
I wouldn't like to call that. Crikey.
3-1 to Tottenham. I
think Tottenham's going to be good this year. I really do.
I think that they're going to. I have a really unpopular opinion that they're going to finish in the top 2.
I think they're going to finish above Liverpool. I think they're going to run Man City close this season. I think they're the team for them to beat. I think what Conte's done with their fitness, and what noises are actually coming out of. Tottenham is that they're just really, really super fit.
Yeah. Liverpool Crystal Palace.
Liverpool will have too much for them, and Liverpool will win 2-0.
Liverpool 2-0, and that finishes the fixtures off.
So again, let us know what you think in the comments as far as the fixtures. If you want to do your list of where we are, we can look at specifically on this video, and we'll troll through and see who does well and who doesn't do well. Thanks ever so much for being with us. Thanks for listening.
Please like, because we've got 185 and we want to get them likes up.
And I'm sure we'll be here in the next couple of days to do a proper look at the upcoming Leeds fixture against Southampton, where we're hoping to go on and get another 3 points. So see you next time.
Yeah, see you next time. Bye.